Okay, so I guess I'm on a full cover tip kick today because I already did one video on how to glue it, sizing, all that different thing. I have not had nails on this hand for a while. I've been lopsided for quite a while, actually. And I am not feeling like sculpting at all. I don't want to do it at all. So I am going to actually use our full cover tips to, I don't want to call it cheat. I think it works, so it's not cheating. But I just want to give myself a break. I'm going to show you a different way of doing it. I know it's been out there before. You probably have seen this technique, but I'm going to share with you how I do it. And we're going to take that full cover tip and create a sculpted gel nail with it. Okay, before we get the tips out, I'm gonna get the glasses on. The steps, we're gonna get that hair back, and we need to prep. Okay, so first things first, we are going to get our pusher. We're gonna just lightly push back that cuticle. Easy enough. We need to prep that natural nail. I'm gonna prep it just like I would for any other sculptured nail. So we're gonna grab our medium sanding band. I'm gonna push it all the way through. I like to prep around 4,000 RPMs. We're gonna start there. Gonna take it. The first thing, I know I say this all the time, I like to focus on the cuticle area first because to me that's the most important area and we tend to be the most scared of it. That's why I've already been using this arbor band, so this has already happened, but I'm gonna show you. I always, when I get a fresh one out, and I do when I'm doing clients, each one gets a fresh one, I take it, and just like I would season my file, I season the edge of the arbor band. This way I know that I'm not gonna cut anyone, right? It just takes that sharpness away. That way I can tuck right into the back area, exactly where I need it, all the way through, right? Make sure that is nice and clean. My cuticles aren't too bad. They're a little dry, but as far as excessive cuticle, I'm not too bad. So I don't need to take a cuticle bit or anything like that to it. I'm just gonna follow through real quick and remove the shine from the rest of the nail. Make sure we've got it everywhere. And we're done. Once we have that, I'm gonna just quickly dust it off, grab our swipe, and we're gonna make sure that nail is nice and cleansed. I just bathed myself in swipe. A little too much swipe. We're gonna go to our trusty protein bond. Just like we would if we're sculpting, we're gonna do one coat, right? We're gonna make sure we get it on all 10 nails. Then we're gonna do our second coat. While we're waiting for it to kind of tack up, it doesn't dry, it doesn't get chalky, it's not a primer. Some people will say, oh, I've been using primer for a while, but now all of a sudden I'm getting lifting, and this has happened to me. Because Protein Bond is not an acid primer, we tend, especially when we're in a hurry, start getting kind of too quick at it. And we end up flooding the cuticle area with it. You don't want to flood the nail. You want to get a nice little amount. I always start in the middle, that way it doesn't flood the cuticle area, and brush it out. If you flood and it puddles in the cuticle or the sidewalls, you're probably gonna get lifting. It's meant to be nice, thin, and where it can tack up and get sticky. Let's grab our base. Our base is our anchor. We need it every time we're doing gel nails, hard gel. We wanna use our base to make sure everything anchors and adheres, right? It doesn't need to be a lot of product. I'm not gonna float it on. I actually put a little pressure down on that brush. I'm gonna make sure I get it to the cuticle area. And I'm gonna brush it out. Put a little pressure. That way it wipes off any excess. Again, this is not to float or build up structure. It is just your foundation to your gel. Okay, once you have that on, I'm gonna go ahead and just hit the 30-second button. But it doesn't really take 30 seconds for it to set up. Typically, I base all 5 fingers. I base the other 5. Once I'm done with the other hand, I'm ready to go with this hand. Usually takes about 15-20 seconds total. I always recommend before you do this to go ahead and size the tips ahead. Now it's sticky, so it's a little more difficult to size, but not a problem. Now, normally I am a size 4 on this finger, and it fits really well. It's what I wear on the ring and the pointer finger. If I'm gluing it down, it's the perfect size. But because of the technique that I'm going to use, I'm actually going to go up one size. I'm going to go up to the 3. And the reason being, well, actually, I'll show you in a minute why. Okay, so I already know, fortunately, because I already put my base on, that the 3 is going to work for me. Sized before. Okay. Now, if you watched our other videos, a lot of times you'll see us prepping the inside of the well of the tip. We're not going to do that because we want it to actually pop and release from the gel. We don't want it to adhere. I'm going to go ahead and grab the Precision Gel Applicator in Concealer Peach. I like using, you can use it in the tub too, doesn't matter. I just like that I can squirt it. Would that be a technical term? Apply it. Let's apply it instead of squirting it inside the well. I just like how it works. Okay, so it's a little more difficult doing it to yourself than applying it to someone else. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply my gel inside the well. Okay, and I'm just going to get a good amount, and I'm probably going to make this about as long as the whole coffin. So I put a pretty good amount in there. We don't want it too thin. And then I'm gonna flip it. And again, I'm gonna try to do this so I can see and you can see and I can function. And I'm just gonna take my gel brush and I'm brushing it, making sure it's hitting the sidewalls all the way up and brushing it out. Okay. So it probably looked like I had way too much at first, but you can see as we extend it, we kind of need that amount. Make sure it's up and over, right? And I just kind of break off that excess. You could use a lint-free too. Sorry guys, I'm not a left-handed person. I'd be typically doing this with my right hand. But sometimes it sticks to the cotton or the lint-free, and so I find a tile is just a nice way of doing it. Okay, so once we have that, we're gonna actually flip it. And again, I'm trying to do this on camera. I'm going to apply it onto the nail, and I'm not going to put the kind of pressure I would behind glue. That's why I go the size up, because I'm not forcing it down to the side to side. If we do that, the gel's just gonna ooze out everywhere. So I'm gonna just lightly put my pressure where I need it, make sure that the tip isn't facing upward, that it's back at the cuticle. You get a little that comes out, that's okay. We're just gonna grab that tile and we're just gonna clean it up a little bit. Let's grab our light. And I'm gonna put it in for 60 seconds. Okay, so we're gonna pull it out of the light, and I'm gonna grab some cuticle nippers, and I'm just gonna grab the corner, and I'm gonna pop it off. I like to then, I pop off this whole hand. While I'm popping off the other hand, I like to just cure it for another 30 seconds. Just because the light's going through the plastic, I wanna make sure that pink is or peach, actually, concealer peach, is nice and cured. So, and I like to actually, this sounds awful, contain my customer. So basically, if their hand's in the light, they can't be touching other things and messing up the nails. Okay, so we pulled it out of the light. We're gonna grab our swipe. We're going to cleanse the top side and the bottom side. I'm gonna file and shape it. It's exactly the same. It's gonna take 2 seconds to do because we're just doing our sidewalls real quick. If anything oozed out, we're gonna blend in the sides. I'm gonna file in the top, make sure that back is nice and smooth. You could use a sanding band for this too. You don't need something aggressive because as you can see, it's not very thick. The shape is there. So again, it's just like you're doing your finish filing. right? And we need to make sure we are giving texture to it because we're going to put gel polish over the top of it. So we need to make sure. And we'll file through. Again, I want to make sure that that cuticle area is nice and flush. Let me dust this off. We'll get some gel polish and I'll come right back to you. Okay, so we done filing and shaping. Remember, we didn't buff. We used our 150 file. Go into our protein bond. Okay, and then we are going to get our gel polish. This is one I used earlier. This is Windfall. I'm obsessed with this color right now. Get this on. First coat. Let's get it in the light. We're gonna do 30 seconds. Let's get our second coat. I'll get that a little closer when I can get up in it. So hard on camera. I know I always say that, but it is hard to get exactly how I would normally do it. So off camera, I do a little touch up. I'm not gonna lie when it comes to the gel polish because I can put it right up in my face. Okay, another 30 seconds. Okay, once we've gotten our second coat, let's grab our finish gel. I'm gonna go ahead and use finish. I like using finish, especially over gel polish that's on artificial. If this was a natural nail and I was doing gel polish, I would not use ultimate finish over the top. But I like finish for 99% of my stuff, unless I'm using white, something white or something that can stain, then of course I'm gonna use my stain resistant. But I like the finish because you apply it and you're done. There's no swiping, there's none of that. It is tack free. It's extremely shiny and I like it. Okay, get it in the light, 60 seconds. Okie-doke, let's get it out of the light. Let's get our oil on. Oh, that feels so good to get oil on my fingers. Okay, and we are done. So guys, just a final thought. When you're doing this, it could be a little tricky, right? Especially if you're trying to do it on yourself. On a person, it is much easier. When you're doing the underneath, every once in a while, you'll get a little lip of gel because you've pushed too hard. That's what you'll learn at first. That was the first mistake I made. I pushed a little too hard and it kind of oozes everywhere. Definitely want to take that brush it out. If you do, let's say you do get a little lip underneath, just grab your arbor band or your medium crosscut and you can file it down. It's not a problem. It won't cause any damage. It won't cause any lifting. It won't cause any breakage. Everything's fixable, but the more you do it, the less you'll have that happen.
Thank you so much for watching our nail videos. To check out more, head right over here, and to subscribe to our channel, click right over here.